This podcast is brought to you by Anchor. Anchor is a great way to have a podcast. All you simply have to do is download the app and you can get started from there. You don't even need any equipment. You can record straight from the app off your phone. You don't have to worry about trying to figure out which platform is best for you. Anchor will distribute to all platforms, including Spotify and Apple Music. So why don't you go download the app and get started on your podcast today? Get your voice out there. What's happening? It's your boy Pete McCorvey. Appreciate you rolling up on the porch to holler at me. It's Pete McCorvey's Porch Talk. Let's go. What's cracking, family? How y'all been, man? Happy New Year to y'all, because it's been a while since I talked to y'all. This your boy Pete McCorvey, a.k.a. Petey Mac, your country cousin. I'm checking in with y'all. Y'all excuse my voice. I'm tired as all get out, man, because I actually just did a 400-plus mile round trip. I had to perform last night down in Albany, Oregon. Actually, it was a good show, very great show. It was put on by a gentleman named Ty Boyce. Very talented comedian, cool ass dude. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little skeptical when I did the show, because when I walked into the spot that I performed at, it was a lot of older white people, looked like the average age, and it was like 45 plus, but they was very receptive of what the material I gave them. And not only that, I ended up running into a brother who was in there, used to be in the Air Force. Me and him chopped it up. He gave me a lot of good sound advice and gave me some materials I could probably use towards when it's come time for me to discharge from the Navy. I had a great time down there, but still I had to go 400 plus miles, man. I almost ended up going into California. I was like going the wrong way on I-5, man. And then I realized the numbers was going down. And I realized, wait a minute, I'm headed south. I'm not headed north. So about 20 miles into that trip back, I turned back around and so about 20, 30 miles off my trip. So I had to come back, but had a good time. But the one thing it threw me for a loop in Oregon, though. I forgot that Oregon was like New Jersey, man. I forgot that you can't pump your own gas out there. Scared the hell out of me. I pulled up to the pump. This old, looked like one of those old prospectors from them old cartoons. They go, "What in tarnation?" Came up to my car, man. I'm about to get out and let him have these things, man. Then I had to realize, I'm in Oregon. Yeah, you can't pump your own gas out here. But it was a good time. Got back home like 2 in the morning, man. It was just, it was wild, man. But I had a great time. Great people down there, man. Ran into this nice, little, beautiful, little older chocolate sister down there, man. Woo, boy, if I ain't had to get on the road, boy, I'd have told her something good like Shaka Khan. But, man, yeah, I had to go ahead and get back here, man, because I'm on leave right now, so I got to maximize my time and enjoy it, man. A lot of things happen, man. I'm 34 years old this past Monday, man. Yeah, 34, your boy getting up there, man. Yeah, this my I was gonna call it my Walter Payton, my sweeten this year, but nah, man. I'm gonna have to do like Giannis. I call him my Giannis year. If y'all know Giannis, I can't pronounce the brother's last name that played for the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm not gonna even attempt to pronounce it. We know I'm talking about the Greek Freak. I'm gonna hit this year like how he be getting it on the court. My man he be going to work. He be dogging like that man is a beast amongst boys, man. So yeah, I'm definitely trying to embody what he does on court for my 34th year on this earth, my 34th trip around the sun. Oh man, a lot of things have happened since last time I talked to you guys. My man Ed Reed. Let's talk about Ed Reed. Oh my God, like Ed Reed is like Craig on Friday. Brother Reed, how the hell you get fired on your day off, man? Like, man, my man didn't even take the job yet. And he got in there and he tried to call himself trying to do what Coach Prime did at Jackson State at Bethune-Cookman University. And he kind of, he said some stuff about HBCUs and how things are not the way they're supposed to be. once you step on like the campus and how they misappropriate funds and this, that, and the third. And I knew, I'm like, he gonna either catch some backlash or he gonna get fired. Because Ed Reed was right. He wasn't wrong in anything he said, but Ed Reed committed a cardinal sin. He committed a very cardinal sin. And that cardinal sin is this: you cannot talk down or criticize black people on a public stage. You cannot do that. And because for something you can't do it. And the reason you can't do that is because you're taking away from us being victimized. Black people do not want to hear that they are in the wrong anywhere, especially when it's come from one of us, and then you put it out there for the world to see and hear. That's when I knew when he did that. I said, boy, that man did step in a whole pile of dog shit. I knew it was going to end bad for him. But my man, he did the number one thing you supposed to do. Brother Reed, you were supposed to secure the bag first. You were supposed to secure the contract, have your name on a dotted line. Then you do that. You don't go straight in there and start criticizing them people and this, that, and everything like that before you even officially on paper are part of their staff. And I'm gonna be honest though, I don't think Ed Reed didn't been coaching nowhere anyway. Because is it me or do y'all see this when we look at Ed Reed? Ed Reed look like, I swear, every time we see Ed Reed look like he ages about 10 years every time we see him. Man, it's just like, I don't know what's been going on since my man retired, but the man get like grayer and older. He pretty much is kind of like, if I had to break it down, if any one of y'all have old school grandparents like I did, then you watch the 10 Commandments every year it came on around by Easter time. My man looked like a black version of Charlton Heston when he played Moses and kept getting older and older and older. I swear to God, Ed Reed would have, within the time, the year, Ed Reed would look like he was 315 years old. Man, oh my God, that's just crazy. Oh man, but to keep your head up, Brother Reed, man, it's gonna be all right. But what kills me about it, they did it so funny style. They waited till that man had 26 recruits on the campus who came for him. They came to the school for a recruitment visit, specifically off his name alone. When they decided, they was like, yeah, you know what, we good, love. We don't need your services all like that. Embarrassed the hell out of that man. But hey, them students down there Bethune-Cookman, hey, they with the shit, man, because they starting to boycott. They signed a petition. So I hope it work out in favor for Brother Reed. But Brother Reed, once you do this, learn to keep your damn mouth shut when it comes to sitting there and criticizing your people like that. That's the thing. Like black people, I hate to say, we can't criticize our own people even when they're in the wrong on a public platform. Because like, I'm going to be honest with you, that's the reason why Bill Cosby caught as much hell as he did. It wasn't exactly, in my opinion, it wasn't exactly about what he was doing to those women, allegedly doing to those women. It's because if y'all remember back what was 04, 05, and he sat down, 04, 05, 06, he sat down and he told black people at some conference they were having to their face, he was like, pull your pants up on your ass, take care of your kids, go to work, stop referring to yourself as niggas and bitches and hoes, stop trying to aspire to do like all this stuff you see in rap videos, get you an education and all that. So when Bill Cosby did that, that kind of, he lost favor with black people. And that's the reason why when all these allegations come up, none of us as a people kind of had his back on it. It's because, you wanted to sit there and criticize us in front of the world. Have that same energy when this comes up with you. Yeah, so moral story is, man, don't it's a black person. If you're going to sit there and criticize the people in something that's proven to be their fault, you better be prepared for whatever backlash comes your way, cause it's coming. That's one thing about us as black people. We gonna clap back. We gonna knock all this shit over if we think that you dogging us out to the public. But like I said, I hope and pray that all that stuff work out in Ed Reed's favor. Because yeah, that was a sad case that happened. All right, now I'm gonna get into what I want to talk about on this episode, first episode of 2023. So it was on Facebook a couple days ago. I think it was like Tuesday, and there was an artist on there. He did like an updated version of the Rugrats. He showed the Rugrats all grown up, them as parents and them with their kids. He had 4 pictures. The first picture he had looked like Chucky Finster. He was an adult. My man Chucky, he got a little swag. He grew up, got a little swag about himself. Got the little hair gel in, got the red hair slick to the back, got him a nice manicure gold tee, still rocking the glasses. Looked like it was Lil that was with him. And then they had 2 kids. They had little infant girl that was in her arms as him and Lil were embracing. And then they had like a little son who was like identical to Chucky. Wild, red hair, glasses. He looked identical. Now the next panel over, they showed Angelica Pickles. She had looked like a little pixie cut. She was on her phone texting. That was a nod to how her mother, Charlotte, used to always be on her cell phone handling business, mainly digging in the ass of her assistant, Jonathan. They had like a red-headed guy who had a beard on there. Everybody, the internet went wild because at first like, oh my God, that's her cousin Deal. How you gonna have that? That's incestuous. But it wasn't Deal. If you paid attention to the Rugrats, that was when they did the all grown up spinoff. That was them like in junior high. That was a guy that hung out with her and Susie Carmichael, named Harold, who kind of had a little thing for Angelica. And they showed them with their daughter. He was holding their daughter and everything. Now, right up underneath that, because I'm gonna work clockwise. Right up underneath that, the bottom right panel, they showed. First, we didn't know who it was, but I had to think about it. It was my main man, Tommy Pickles. The leader of the group, and he had them long, purple hair, because you had to remember, in All Grown Up, Tommy had like a purple, flat top, and he had a purple goatee and everything, and it looked like it was Kimmy that was with him as his wife, and they showed them like embracing a little boy who got his eyes closed. He's hugging them and everything like that. Now we go over to the bottom left panel, and this is where it got real. I'm talking about the internet went nuts. Black Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, they was with the shits and they was ready to knock everything over. You got my girl Susie Carmichael, the only sister in the group. Now Susie was there with a son and a daughter. She had her hands around them, smiling to the camera. And it looked like she had a weave in her head, but we ain't tripping. Sometimes sisters want to put a weave in her head because she busy. She ain't got time to be bothered with her hair. But ask where the father was. Exactly. There was no father in the picture. And the internet lost their minds. Us as a people, we went on the picture and we tore it to shreds. We were like, why are they perpetuating the stereotype of the single black mother with no father in sight? How come she has all this going on? And man, we tore that to shreds. And I even dissected it myself. And I'm gonna get into my dissection right now, but it got so bad that the guy actually reached out and he tried to clean it up, but it was even worse. It's like when you are mopping something and you think you're cleaning it up, but you're actually spreading it out and you're making it worse. This is what he said. The artist said, well, I was going to have her married to an NBA basketball player, but I decided that maybe she got divorced and all that. And it's like, well, damn, that's still fitting the stereotype. So the brother she married to got to be an NBA player. Like, damn, you got to be an NBA player, got to be a rapper, couldn't be a doctor or nothing like that. So it got so bad, the brother ended up actually, well, that's not the brother, let me not call him brother. The guy ended up actually taking the picture down because he caused so much backlash. And he's saying what he didn't mean about it. That's bullshit. That was a subconscious jab at the black family dynamic. He can say what he wants to say. That was a subconscious jab at them. And I'm so tired of that type of stuff happening. And it is ridiculous. People just keep trying to do shit like that. And then try, oh, I didn't mean, yeah, it is exactly what you meant when you did it. Because they just feel like us as a people, we can't have a two-parent household. The mother, they both can't be educated and everything like that, which is one of the reasons, feel how you want to feel about Bill Cosby. That's the reason why I love The Cosby Show. I loved it because it showed us that we can do this. And we can still have our blackness about us because, yeah, Cliff Huxtable, he was a doctor, but yeah, he had his little corny ways. But my man Cliff went to a HBCU. You know, he listened to him some jazz. He said, if you watch all the episodes, my man was always wearing HBCU apparel. As a matter of fact, they even showed that he went to Meharry Medical College in Nashville, which I don't know if it's unofficial or officially HBCU, but it's a medical school in Nashville, Tennessee. That's where he went to medical school, and he met his wife, Claire, while they were at Hillman, which is a fictional college. If you watch Different World, that's the fictional HBCU they both attend. And we all know that Claire had her flavor. Claire was that she was prim, proper, educated, accomplished woman, but when she had to get in them kids' ass, that "oh no you didn't" came out. Especially the episode with Vanessa trying to sneak down to Baltimore and watch the rich, and she was going to have big fun. You know, yeah, she brought it in that episode. So yeah, I love that. But I remember being in class in college. It was like a cable management class I took. And I remember a professor, white lady, she had said that the Cosbys were not accurate representation of black family life. And I raised my hand. I said, why are they not a direct representation of black family life? And she was, well, that is not accurate. You don't see too many things. Like, so what you mean? She was like, well, how many families do you know, black families you know, where the father's a doctor and the mother's a lawyer? And I told her straight up, I said, Professor, I'm going to be honest, I don't know any black families like that. I said, but you want to know something I can caveat there with? She said, what? I said, I don't know any white families like that either. I come from a blue-collar town. Moss Point, Mississippi, it's a blue-collar town. Your father is either going to work at either the Chevron oil refinery in neighboring Pascagoula, or he's going to work at Ingalls Shipbuilding, which is a shipyard that builds a lot of naval ships. As a matter of fact, the first ship I was ever stationed on, the USS Dewey, was actually built in that shipyard. A lot of my families and my friends actually took part in building it. That's where almost everybody I know, black, white, red, green, orange, polka dot, when I was growing up in Jackson County, Mississippi, that's where they worked. So I like that better than that. And because I'm going to be honest, because then she said, well, you know, Good Times. First of all, Good Times, I never understood that show. I never understood why black people love Good Times like that. It was always just that James was always angry. Couldn't take a comb through his head for nothing. They always got the short end of the stick at the end of every episode, and they clapping and laughing and having a good time. Like, no, y'all about to get put out. What is funny about that? And then Florida just want to be a goody two shoes. Anytime they had a chance to get ahead, she was knocking them down. This ain't the right way. Talking about this ain't God. I'm like, you crazy motherfucker. God just sent a blessing your way and you shitting on it. What are you talking about? But I'm not going to get off on a tangent on good time. That's a whole nother episode. Like I said, I'm going to break down how they're trying to do Susie Carmichael and they made her another statistic. And I'm going to show you why that's bogus, because out of all of them, Susie had the advantage to actually go on, be successful, and actually be a stable adult with emotional support and emotionally sound marriage and family. I'm going to break down every family in the Rugrats and show you why. First, I'm going to start with my main man, Tommy Pickles. Tommy Pickles, alpha male. He the alpha male of the group. He the leader. Inquisitive. He's very adventurous. Tommy, like any kid, any baby, you're curious about the world and you want to go off and you want to see what's going on. Now, let's look at Tommy's family dynamic. Tommy's mother, Dee Dee Pickles, very unconfident woman. She didn't know how to really do anything. She really listened to everybody else's advice instead of trusting her own spirit and her own confidence to how to raise a baby. Main thing about that is lip shits. Y'all remember the man Lipschitz, a German doctor, he's supposed to be a play on Dr. Spock. For those of y'all know who Dr. Spock is, around about the 1940s, 1950s, I think 60s, between the 40s and the 60s, he had like a bunch of books that was teaching parents about how to raise their children and how the way they rear them, and his techniques will help with the child's development. Now, Lipschitz didn't have any kids at all. And as a matter of fact, one episode, it was revealed when Dee Dee finally met him that he was just shooting all these women a load of bullshit. He preyed on these women, nativity, and he was doing that just to make a buck. They was a cash grab. Then we go look at Tommy's father. Let's look at his father, Stu Pickles. Let's just keep it a buck. Stu was a bum. Stu was a bum. Everybody was like, well, he was an inventor. He was trying to work on toys and do all that. Stu was a bum because it's all right to have ambition. It's all right to work. But, man, you got a child. Matter of fact, you end up having 2 children. You got to put food on your table, bro. Ain't nothing wrong with working on what you need to do on your spare time or at nights when you get off. But, bro, you got kids that need to be fed, need to be clothed, have to go to the doctor. They got stuff they need. To be honest with you, Stu honestly reminded me of the guy from Acrimony. The guy, Robert, played by the actor Lyric Bent. You remember, y'all know the movie Acrimony with Taraji P. Henson, Lyric Bent. Yeah, that's who he reminded me of. You so focused on this, your inventions and all this type of things and all that and the third, but you're forgetting, hey, I live in the real world and I got responsibilities that I need to take care of. Just was very irresponsible, very immature. Just was not the standard of what a father of 2 kids should be. And then let's look at Grandpa Lou. This man was one of the most neglectful men out there. Couldn't stay awake for 5 minutes. And the result of him not staying awake for 5 minutes, man, them kids could have died. Because he just couldn't stay awake for 5 minutes. He was focused on so much other stuff. Want to relive his old glory. Sitting there letting his old ass hormones get the better of him. He trying to chase women. He trying to do everything else but watch them kids. So, in that essence, I don't know how Tommy was able to do that because Tommy just was in a bad situation. That was a bad situation Tommy was in. Now we're going to move on to Tommy's cousin, Miss Angelica Pickles. You know, she the bully of everybody, the main antagonist in quite a few episodes. She had a moment, yeah, she was spoiled, self-centered, narcissistic, but deep down she had a good heart. She always had the baby's back when they needed it. But let's look at her dynamic. Now, she ended up in a love relationship. She is the poster child of commitment issues, trust issues, emotional neglect. Her mother, Charlotte, just cold-hearted businesswoman. All she cared about is business. She just never really took time. Her way of dealing with Angelica was like, well, she's doing that. She's expressing herself, give her what she wants. Now she back on the phone talking to Jonathan, doing what she got to do. Just never really took time. If you look, she never really spent time with the daughter, with Angelica at all. Then you look at Angelica's father, Drew Pickles. Man had no backbone. His wife ran him over. Angelica ran him over. His way of parenting was that, let me just pacify this little girl, buy her what she wants, give her what she wants, let her act out so I can get out my hair. That makes me a good dad. So that, I didn't understand how she ended up in a loving marriage when that happened. Then we go to Phil and Lil DeVille. You got their parents, Betty and Howard. Betty was just this overbearing, domineering woman, overly opinionated. And it was clear that growing up, she was a lesbian. She was a lesbian. You can even look at that sweater she used to wear that had the symbol for women on it. It was clear that she was a lesbian. And then you got Howard. Howard was just this spineless man who just did whatever Betty wanted him to do. He just didn't have no backbone. He just went with everything she said. Just soft cupcake. And I think what the Rugrats was trying to do, they were alluding to the fact that Howard was gay. So I think they probably got together because back in that time, you got to remember the Rugrats premiered in 1991. Yeah, you had gay people, but it wasn't really like accepted in society as it is now. So I think they got together just to, I think she really wanted kids, and I think he really wanted kids too. But it's like, well, we don't know no other way. Like, I can't go to adopt them. Because adoption for LGBTQ plus people, I don't think it was really that easy back then. Probably damn near impossible. So I guess they figured that's the best way we can have children without having to go through a lot of bullshit. As a matter of fact, in the new Rugrats that they got on Paramount Plus, I don't even think Howard's in there, and they did just straight up say that Betty is a lesbian who happened to adopt Phil and Lil. But, you know, they ended up, you know what I'm saying, they showed them a love relationship. Now we go to my man, Chucky Fencer. Now, Chucky didn't necessarily, his family dynamic wasn't necessarily toxic or bad, anything like that. His father happened to be a widower. And we didn't learn that until 3 or 4 years in, when we didn't wonder as kids, like, hey, where's Chucky's mom? Come to find out she had an illness. She passed away shortly after, about a year or so after Chucky was born. And yeah, Chaz, his father, Chaz did the best he could. Chaz actually was actually positive for Chucky. He was affectionate with Chucky when he needed to be. He helped Chucky out through a lot of things. Like when Chucky, whatever Chucky was scared of, like Chucky was scared of the dark. He was letting Chucky know that the dark is not going to hurt you. A lot of things. He was always there for Chucky. But you know, they're going to say, oh, he was a single man and all that. So Chucky didn't end up getting a mother. So it's things that Chucky couldn't get from Chad that every child needs from their mother. He ended up getting that eventually around when the Rugrats go to Paris, when Chaz ended up marrying Kira, and he ended up getting a stepsister, Kim. So he ended up getting that later on. But, you know, still, it was a lot of stuff that Chucky was missing. Now we're going to go to my girl, Susie Carmichael. Susie Carmichael came from a very stable 2-parent household where they both were financially successful. You know, they was emotionally available. Her mother was a doctor. Lucy Carmichael was a doctor. Her dad was a head writer for the Dummy Bear series. You know, successful, very successful career he had. They were always there available for her. Her siblings was always there. None of the kids were on drugs. None of them were thrown in jail. Everything, their family was perfect. And if you notice, like when Dee Dee and Stu first met the DeVilles, when Dee Dee is talking to Lucy and she's hearing all of Lucy's accolades and successes, it's kind of like Dee Dee's like shocked, like, damn, you did all of that? Or you do that? So Lucy was very accomplished. And she never like, yeah, I did all this. She never was focused on that. She's like, yeah, I got my career intact. Yeah, I do all this. But at the end of the day, Lucy Carmichael was a wife and a mother. Same with Randy. Randy was kind of sarcastic. He kind of stayed off. You know, he too tired of his job as a writer for Dummy Bears. But, you showed him available as a father. And all her siblings were, he had two siblings. He had a sister, Alicia, her little mischievous brother, Buster. And I forgot I can't remember what the nerdy kid name, but it showed she had an older sister who was, I'm your older sister. It's my job to protect you when the parents ain't around. And she was always letting her parents know that she's independent. You know how teenagers do. They got a certain amount of independence. Like one episode when they wanted to go out there to have a babysitter. And Alicia was like, no, I can handle this. Let me handle this. Give me a chance. And when stuff started going wrong, Alicia was like, I can call. She's like, no, I can't do that. I'm going to figure this out on my own because they'll never let me live this down. They'll never let me have anything like this again. They'll never let me have this type of authority again. So she came, like I said, and then they showed with her grandparents, the episodes when her grandparents came in. Grandparents very loving, very emotionally supportive. And she came from a great dynamic. And like, if you notice, the main theme in the Rugrats was something would happen. The kids would always wander off and the parents wouldn't know where they are. Half the time, they don't even know the kids are missing because they're not checking on them. They're not doing anything. If you look at every episode where Susie is involved, and Susie's like the main character, it's her storyline. Every misadventure Susie had was in the confines of her home, and it was never, her parents didn't know where she was. Hey, where's Susie? Almost all of them took place in the home, and somebody knew or had eyes on Susie, or they knew where Susie was. Like the very first episode when Susie meets Tommy. Susie thought her stuff had disappeared, her room had disappeared. Come to find out they just hadn't moved her stuff in her room yet. But her mama knew where she was. Her daddy knew where she was. She always had that foundation and that rock. So for her to end up that stereotype single mother with two kids, that would have been highly unlikely because let me just break it down and be honest with you. Susie technically grew up, I'm going to say this and it's going to ruffle some feathers. She grew up more of a quote-unquote white family dynamic than every other Rugrat. So I'm gonna say to this brother who created that picture, you tried it and you failed, but it was a black artist who went back and rectified that. What he ended up doing, he ended up drawing a picture. Susie still had a long hair, but you can see kind of the contour that it was natural. She had a husband was a doctor. My man had him like a little afro, a little flat top with the connecting beard and everything. Beard gang was on point. And she had two kids that was two beautiful black babies in that picture like that. And then what he said killed everything. He put on the caption, said, I fixed it. So shout out to that brother who created that and fixed that up. Anyways, that's been my time, man, on the porch with y'all, man. I'm glad to finally talk to y'all for the first time in 2023. Y'all find me on Facebook, Pete McCorvey, P-E-T-E, last name McCorvey, M-C-C-O-R-V, as in Victor, E-Y. Find me on Instagram, at PDMac10, P-E-T-E-Y-M-A-C-10. And I got to rehash my TikTok. Had a little incident with my TikTok. My TikTok got banned, so now I got a new TikTok. It's gonna be PeteYmac89, PeteYmac89. It's been good talking to y'all, man. We gonna ride out through this whole year, man. Hey, whatever you want to do in 2023, man, don't let anything stop you. Pray to God, Allah, Buddha, Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Spaghetti King, Spaghetti Lord, or whatever that thing is called. That's the thing. Pray to them. Drink your water, exercise, meditate, pray, and make 2023 yours, because this is your year. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do anything that you can't want to do this year. And I'm going to get out of here. Before I get out of here, the way my man Big Keith used to always said when we was off in Africa deployed, be cool, stay calm, and get paid. Holla at y'all.